Could you elaborate on your extraordinary grandfather, Dr. Charles S. Johnson?
Well, thank you for that. My grandfather, I never met my grandfather. He died 11 months before I was born. Charles S. Johnson was born in 1893. He was a sociologist. He was president of Fisk University. He died at age 63. He was on his way to a Board of Trustees meeting here in New York of Fisk, and he had a heart attack very unexpectedly in the train station in Louisville, Kentucky, where he got off. And he died. This is a man with honorary degrees from Harvard, Columbia, University of Glasgow, who died traveling on a segregated railroad car, just as the civil rights movement was taking off. And he was considered at the time one of the intellectual engines of the civil rights movement. My father, who was still alive, was heavily influenced by his father. Like I said, I never met him, but he, one of the more remarkable writings of his was something in the New York Times Magazine just before he died. It was like a month before he died, and he talked about the coming civil rights movement. And he got a lot of letters in response to that article, including one from Martin Luther King, who was then 26 years old. Dr. Johnson, I read your great piece. You combine the wisdom and evangelical spirit of a prophet. And one of the things he said in that article, I like to quote today in the context of immigration reform. He was talking about Negroes in the South, in the segregated South, and he said, we should not despair, we should not lose hope, because you should never lose hope in the democratic code of this nation. And I quote that even today, 50 years, 60 years later.
Just quickly, who actually possesses that letter from the 26-year-old Martin Luther King?
Good question. That's been an ongoing debate between me and my father. I have a copy. I showed it to Marty. Mm-hmm. Martin Luther King III was my classmate. I showed it to him recently. He had never seen it before.
And what was his impression after he reads it?
He thought it was a genuinely nice letter, and he was pastor of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church at the time. It was right toward the end of the Montgomery bus boycott. Mm-hmm. But my father still has the original. He has given me letters to his father from Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Langston Hughes, but he will not give up the MLK letter.